evening, everyone. I'm so happy to actually see everyone here making the effort to come on a precious week night. So it's really good to see all of you here. Well, a very, very warm welcome to everyone who are here today. And also welcome to the Young Corporate Malaysians 33rd CEO Series, which is the Great Women at Work. A special one that's featuring Ms. Shahnaz Al-Sadat, Executive Director of Khazanah Nasional Berhad. We are all looking forward to hear her experiences of many years of experience in the corporate world. But just before we proceed, I would like to invite Mr. Wan Muhammad Firdaus, the Chairman of Young Corporate Malaysians, to give a quick introduction on what Young Corporate Malaysians is all about. Please welcome Wan Firdaus.
Thank you, Siti. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for making the effort, like Siti said, on a weekday evening, coming to listen to our CEO series. Basically, YCM has been around since January 2008. It's a group of young professionals based in KL. Most of us, when we all came back from, some of us from studying overseas, some of us from the local universities. When we started work, we decided that we should have a networking for young professionals, and we decided that we should organize events where all of us can meet up with each other and also learn from the CEOs which we host. So we do this CEO series every month. As a matter of fact, we are quite lucky this month. We will have two CEOs that we will be hosting. Today we are hosting Ms. Shahnaz. Next week, we are hosting on the 22nd the CEO of SPAT, Mr. Nur Kamal. And on the 27th, Monday 27th, we are hosting the Prime Minister himself. So stay tuned on our website. The best way for you to keep in touch with the events that we are doing is for you to register to be part of our mailing list. And you can do that by going to www.ycm.org.my. Membership of YCM is open and free. We have an age limit for YCM members between 21 to 30. So, but we do encourage anyone above 30 to still attend our events. So, but we want to make sure people understand that, you know, when we meant young, we are talking about really young, not the belia or amro. So, do leave your business cards at the registration desk or sign up your details so that you know of our events. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Firdaus. I think that's the kind of spirit that he embodies in YCM, where you're actually free to speak up your mind. So we do have a question and answer session afterwards, so do speak up, just like one Firdaus did just now. Well, without further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Shahnaz Al-Sadat, Executive Director of Khazanah Nasional, to deliver her speech, followed by a question and answer session afterwards. Let's welcome her.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very, 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 very good evening to everyone. Okay. Thank you for being here this evening. And this comes from an old corporate Malaysian, because I clearly doesn't meet that 30 years old band of age that Firdaus just mentioned just now. Anyway, I'm so pleased to be here actually, and I was just telling the story about how it struck me when my team put the memo in front of me about a few weeks ago and said that, Shahnaz, we need you to speak at this session. And I said, okay, I just signed it off, thinking that, you know, it's another career talk, and I'm going to see about 50 people, kind of, you know, and I'm just going to talk about Khazanah, being a nation-building company. We offer development opportunities for our staff, we reward fairly. I mean, it's a spiel that I do over and over again, so I'm quite like, you know, okay lah. And then a few weeks ago, I got a text from my niece, here, Mate, she's my pangkat, is this you? Because it says in the Facebook that there's this series, YCM, and 261 people already accepted. And they're coming to hear you speak. What are you going to speak about? So I went like, okay. So I went back to my team and said like, hey, what am I supposed to be talking about? And it really, really struck me that I'm actually going to be talking to almost 300 future leaders of this country. And I'm clearly not going to talk about my boring skills, you know, about Khazanah. So, I will try my best. I hope I will live up to your expectations. But I can only, you know, really speak from my heart, off my cuff, from my own experience. But I'm going to try and divide this next 45 minutes a little bit to 3 parts. I mean, first I'm going to pay homage, of course, to my employer. An introduction a little bit to Khazanah. Not because they pay me, because I truly believe in what Khazanah does as an institution. Secondly, I'm going to talk a little bit about Khazanah and education because it's truly my passion. And thirdly, I thought I want to talk a bit broader from a Malaysia perspective and about what does it mean for you and me and why education is important in that context. And then we can go into dialogue session the next 45 minutes. And you can ask me any question throughout any of this. You know, there's no press here, right? No. So I can speak relatively freely. So, you know, so I hope this is okay. Is this alright? Yeah? What is that sound? It's not like a chimpanzee behind that particular speaker. So, okay, anyway. A little bit about Khazanah. I mean, this is really a boring slide. But I think you have it in your packs. You know, we are giving you packs. I think in your packs, I really don't want to run through the very, very boring brochures. You have that about who we are. I do this exactly because I put too many things here. So you have this that talks about what we do and who we are. We are pretty anal about our performance. So every January, every year, without fail, we will issue our performance. Now, that's because we believe in transparency. But honestly speaking, for me, this is only one part of performance. The language that everybody understands, which is the financial part. There is the other side of performance that is so difficult to articulate, and that is all the strategic side. Because we don't do financial or strategic, we have to do financial and strategy. And I think that's a challenge. I think as a professional, it's always a challenge because you have to find something that does good for the country. That means either it's from an economic multiplier effect, it creates jobs, it is a catalyst. That means you do something that nobody else has done. You know, make the pathway for other people who will probably make more money than you do. But you still have to try and do it in a way that is financially sustainable. Because contrary to popular belief, Khazanah doesn't get income tax revenues. Okay, Khazanah gets seed money 17 years ago from government, and from that money, Khazanah continues to make money from that money and continue to invest in long-term investments. Khazanah raised money from the market. I used to be a CFO of this company from 2004 to 2007. That was before I decided that money is way too boring, you know. Money doesn't speak to me, you know. So I said, better go and take care of people. So now I'm taking care of people. Now I find it's too noisy. Everybody speaks back to me. You know, but when I was taking care of money, I mean, that is really a CFO dream challenge. You have a balance sheet that really has to address all the long-term issues. At the same time, you have to pay back debts and you have to pay back interest every year. So you still have a portfolio that requires to do some yield every year to be able to have cash to manage it. It's a CFO dream lah. Some people say it's hell dream, but for me it was a dream because you know it really takes all kind of intelligence to try to figure it out. But that's what Khazanah is trying to balance it at the end of the day to make it financially sustainable, because if not, we'll be borrowing the future generation's money. We borrow your money because you will not have any money to do any long-term investments anymore later on. You know? But at the same time, we have to do things that is important for the country in the long term. And when you think about it, you know, who in their right mind will have, nobody has a crystal ball. So you have to take risks when you do that, right? When you take risks, most of the time, you will make mistakes. And, you know, but we do everything that we can. We look at facts, we debate everything, we have to be really robust about it. But we recognize that we cannot be until at the point that we have no action. So you still have to take action. But the point that if we fail, if something happens and we make mistakes, we still must be able, you know, to come back up. We must be able to recover. So that as a CFO, your balance sheet must be strong at the bottom. Because if any of our investments actually go down, because it's of a high risk, the company balance sheet must be able to take it at whatever point. And I think that's a question from a financial management of a company. It's not an easy thing to do. But we continue to, you know, inform everyone of what our portfolio performance is. I mean, from a long-term house for the last 7 years, if you see returns is at 12% per annum, and we do strategic investments that not only take care of ourselves, but you know, we do collaborative things in relation to new industries, in relation with private partners. We deal with legacy sectors. I mean, some of these legacy sectors, even, you know, private sectors wouldn't even want to go and touch it, you know. But we have no choice to go into it. I mean, some very basic infrastructure stuff, because there are a lot of high capital expenditure, but the country needs it. You know, people need to have broadbands in the rural areas. But we still have to roll it out in a manner that makes sense. It's not going to make a huge money, but it cannot also make too much losses. So how do you balance that out? So this is all the things that we have to do in a manner that makes sense both sides. And it's trying to manage that, I think that's difficult. So I mean, you can read all from a performance perspective. You know, they're all here lah, basically. A little bit from a human side. I know we ended with that last point that the management team is headed by Tan Sri Azman Mokhtar, who is the managing director. But there's a team behind him. And this is actually a picture he showed early part this year. The team is actually a rugby team. Because you know, rugby is a big game, but it's played by gentlemen. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. We need to do the right things. We cannot be a populist, so we need to do a difficult thing. But we want to do this with some code of ethics, right? So there is some ethics to this. So we felt from I had no idea what rugby is about. Okay, I'm going to own up to it. But I was told that first and foremost it's about teamwork. In rugby, every shapes and form are there. You know, there's a tall and lean. There's a, you know, okay lah, not so lean. Means quite wide, right? Right? You know, and short. I mean, everybody has a role, whatever the shape and form they are. And there's 16 of us in the senior leadership team. They are of various races. 2 of them are non-Malaysians today. The rest are Malaysians. But everybody comes from all different, very diverse backgrounds. despite the contrary probability that a lot of us are accountants, I think I would agree. I think if you look at professional qualifications, I think a lot of us went through that route, but I think all of us went through quite different route after that. So it's just a basic qualification. I mean, I have a CPA. I was a law degree graduate. I then did CPA, but after that, I did all sorts of other things, which I was general management in the airlines, and then I left that, and then I became the CFO, and then now I'm taking care of people. So it's very, very varied. So other people probably had a professional qualification of accounting, but completely different routes. I mean, Tancha Azman also had ACCA, but he was the head of research of UPS, for example. So it's very different routes. So though we all have accounting degree, but believe me, we have very, very diverse way of thinking.